Good late Thursday, early Friday. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, giving you a look at that North Florida, South Georgia picture here. Seeing some shower and thunderstorm activity as you're getting there toward areas around Wayne County, just on the fringes of our area, but kind of heading in there just a little bit as well as we get on in towards some of our different communities there around Patterson, some of those areas there as we get further on up in toward just the very northern areas here of the viewing circle, but we'll just continue to watch things here. Obviously, these storms that we were really tracking into Ward, Georgia earlier on, a lot more potent. They go back 4 hours. You see, there was a severe thunderstorm watch, severe thunderstorm warning in play even further. As you go back in the timeline, we actually had quite a few more warnings in play, and even a tornado warning in northeastern Georgia on Thursday afternoon as we're getting over toward that Greenville, South Carolina TV market, a few of those Georgia counties that kind of edge in over toward that viewing circle. But nothing here in toward our region to be concerned about in toward that timeline on that Thursday really. But as we look ahead toward Friday, as I go back to that current view, I'll go ahead and zoom out just a bit. I just want you guys to be aware that it's going to be a different story here as we move into work this Friday. It could be a pretty active day around, so just be aware. The temperatures right now are pretty warm here this time of night, and those conditions kind of building here around our region for more widespread coverage of storms here. Nothing overwhelming, but definitely going to have more coverage of storms on that Doppler as we look ahead toward that Friday. So just make sure you're weather aware. You'll probably have some warnings around. That's just how it works for this time of year when you're in this pattern. So again, 79 Gainesville, 77 Keystone there, 81 Albany. So definitely some warm air and humid conditions here in play. Not really something that's an anomaly for this time of year, though. As we go ahead and look here, as we're still in summertime, we'll go ahead and see, guys, a look now at that outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center for that Friday. I want to just kind of let you guys know we do have a risk of some severe storms here on play. Marginal risk 1 out of 5, including most of our counties, not the far southern fringes, but even though I'm not risking as we get later on in the period necessarily currently, definitely could have some marginal risk added here as we get towards some of those later days as well. So that's something we'll be watching to see how the radar kind of fills on in on us as we kind of get a little bit later on out in that timeline. In fact, let me go ahead here and I'll get something put on up our model guidance as we get here on our other source right now. Let's go ahead and kind of go on over toward this viewpoint now. You can see our HRRR not showing too much as we get to maybe 2 a.m. there. Our HRRR model, but let me go ahead and kind of progress as you see some more formation even in the mornings there as we look in certain parts of our area here next couple of days. More so as we look toward this morning and tomorrow morning, but we're going to keep looping this around a few times so you guys kind of get a hand on this. I might even pause it at some points, but okay, so this is this morning. You see some stuff in Georgia, maybe a rogue warning or two, probably more the afternoon type stuff, though, would be what would trigger warnings. And then as you see on that Saturday, stuff erupts again in the afternoon. Some purple showing up, definitely could have stronger to severe storms when you have those reds, those purples there. This is just giving you a general idea of what to expect. Look at that date there and the time where it says valid at, and the guidance is for 0Z there from that time frame on August 4th. Really, it's going back there. That's 8 o'clock on that Thursday night. But as you can see here, just progressing things again and again over that 48-hour period or so to give you guys an idea of what to expect. You can see here, going to be pretty active on the radar at many points. So let's go ahead and kind of now pause this as we get in here. So let's go ahead. We'll pause at around 9 a.m. or so, and you can see some stuff in Georgia. Hopefully these storms won't be severe at this point, but can't completely rule out some stronger storms in that type of activity. And then as you get here, you see some red. I mean, maybe even a severe warning out, not completely out of the realm of possibility here. But as we get toward the afternoon, you start seeing purple show up, and that's when you have a better chance of some storms that could turn severe. And in the afternoon heating, definitely can have some of those become a little bit more aggressive on us here with damaging winds being the main threat. And as we see those kind of fizzle out there, they get into toward that Saturday. You can see some development there. That's 12 o'clock, some stuff maybe. And this is just a model. Things are not exactly set up like this, but toward Levy County, toward Alachua County, and then as we get on in there, you see around 4 o'clock, if we don't have storms develop early enough, then things could really kind of get active. With the ones that do get going, they could be pretty potent. So in terms of damage and winds, that summertime severe threat and play Tallahassee there. Now, for a lot of folks, there are a lot of families. It's the last weekend there before school starts back. Some folks in our Georgia counties already starting back, but a lot of our folks here across our region start back next Thursday, and unfortunately, the next 7 days going to look pretty wet here. Again, this is 4 o'clock on Saturday. The models currently showing you saw the progression of storms in there, and I kind of just keep going and going on here, and you can see our different frames there at the bottom. I'll go ahead and kind of see, guys, and look at things as we get in there again. On that Saturday evening, 8 o'clock, you see some stuff maybe in Franklin County there in the Big Bend. That could be a little bit heavier, Alachua, Marion, Levy. So just giving you guys an idea of our model guidance. But let's go ahead and get back on over now toward that full look at the temperatures and that current radar for a moment. And then we'll go ahead and go on over now toward that forecast model. You'll kind of see what we're expecting here for the next 7 days. I know more rain from Missouri. They had quite a bit of flooding concern. Missouri, I don't know where, especially they're setting up Wednesday night. Gonna have some more stuff developing later tonight here. So something to keep our eyes on for sure as we're looking at things from that national standpoint. We'll be watching nothing too potent right now up that way. But let's just see real quick the radar, give you that idea. But you can also see some stuff kind of developing in between here. As we get toward Alabama, I know next 7 days is going to be pretty wet at points. Northern Alabama, southern Alabama. And then you see our viewing circle, southwest Georgia, some spots showing up closer to 2 inches, just a little less than that on average. And a few indoor Florida here, showing up close to about 1.5 inches on average. Others are closer to 1 inch. But of course, some spots isolated can get several inches, 3, 4, 5 inches in this type of pattern. So just keep that in mind. Keep an eye there on that interactive radar when we're not on the airquality.com/radar there. Gives you a look at things. Of course, we're always committed to covering our 62 counties here. We're in Bradford County. We give you the latest from here, but also for all of our counties. And we cover national threats as necessary, but local is where it really matters most to us here at Cloud Weather, as we've been on forever. Tornado warning storm to move through the last few years. Not expecting now tornado warning zero. That's just our policy. And of course, severe weather in general, severe thunderstorm warning, tropical hazards. We'll use our discretion. We're on quite a bit for those here as well, as you all know. So again, just making sure we give you that real-time information for you guys, the viewer, as we go ahead now. I'll go ahead and get into word the tropics, so we alluded to that, and hopefully we won't have to do any tropical coverage for a while, but we'll be watching here just in case. And you can see we're starting to get to that time where things become more active. Not seeing a lot right now, though. Some of the models are hitting at a few things. There's really not enough to confidence to dive into anything at this point. But you see mid-August there to about early to mid-October, we'll be seeing the highest chance of development. And I know going back here in 2004, we had Hurricane Charlie on August 13th make landfall at Friday the 13th toward Punta Gorda. Of course, that was a storm that they'll never forget there. But of course, last year really topped by a pretty significant margin by Hurricane Ian. I know where that area that hit there in late September, and then we've had storms in early October before, like Matthew and Michael, of course, as well. They've just been so destructive to certain areas. As we go ahead now, move along now toward those storm names. You can see here Emily, Franklin, Gert. The next one's on the left. We'll keep our eyes on things and just see that extended forecast now. They'll over the next 7 days, expecting quite a bit of high rain chances here toward our local communities. 60% on Friday, 70% Saturday, 60% Sunday, 60% on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the first day of school for many local counties, including Bradford, where we're at here. So unfortunately, going to have to keep an eye on things. Not going to be an all-day type of threat here generally, but we'll just keep our eyes on that Doppler, of course, though. And whenever thunder roars, you want to go indoors. And then when we have these hotter temperatures around, those higher heat index values, could have heated values in play again, and then you got to really be practicing those heat safety precautions, even when you don't have those in play. When you don't have those heat index values up there quite as high, things can still be dangerous, if not deadly, there, especially for those that are most vulnerable, like young children and the elderly. So gotta really keep those groups in mind here, those most vulnerable groups here in play. You see a little bit above average here with the lows and the highs generally. Nothing just crazy above those, but definitely a little bit above still. That's kind of been the story here lately, it seems like, as things have been toasty across our viewing circle. So, again, just gonna keep our eyes on everything here in the Weather Center. And let's go ahead and get back on over to the Doppler. Again, we'll be watching for more development as we get out toward parts there of the heartland. As we look ahead there, we'll be looking at all our different tools. We'll be looking here at severe risk here as we get toward that local area as well. On that Friday here, you see the marginal risk in Georgia there. All of our Georgia counties really under that, and most of our Florida counties as well. So not a big risk, but it is one this time of year where things, when you have that risk in play, can definitely be a little more concentrated in terms of some severe potential around. Nothing again overwhelming, but it's just time of year where you have to be paying attention. We had a little bit of a break of all the last couple of days, but now things are going to ramp back up. So just got to be careful. I know we had a couple weeks ago there a person there injured by lightning as we were looking toward parts of the First Coast region. So just got to be mindful of that. That was according to broadcast media. So just got to remember whenever thunder roars, you go indoors and take severe warnings or even advisories for lightning to become dangerous, if not deadly. Had a home there struck in Orange Park by lightning as we were going back in toward that timeline. Just kind of looking here. I know that was coming on in, and that was back on the 31st there on Monday afternoon of this week. So, home struck by lightning causing extensive damage. And then on the 22nd, broadcast media also reporting, local broadcast media reporting that a female teenager was taken shelter under a tree during a thunderstorm, and they were injured by lightning in the Switzerland area of St. Johns County. So, St. Johns and Clay getting lightning problems here. As we look back earlier on in the summer, it seemed to be more concentrated toward Central Florida, but things just have a tendency, unfortunately, of kind of moving around here, and that's just how it is with a scattered type of danger here that's in play. I mean, some areas get lucky. I mean, some years you get lucky, other years your area just happens to have more objects or people or homes in general get struck by lightning. So just keep that in mind. And then you have the wind hazard too. I know a lightning hazard is something that really you got to be aware of here if you're in North Florida, South Georgia. So again, looking there at that overview though, that kind of wraps things up, I think, for tonight here. I think we pretty much covered everything we need to here in the Weather Center. Let me check YouTube real quick to see if there's any questions. I'll go on over there just to make sure we don't have any questions from any of our viewers here at home. Let's just kind of see if there's anything that I need to kind of address here. Is of course you can get those live updates on that YouTube platform and the other ones as well. If you're not already subscribed there on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe button. That's free. You can make sure you enable all the notifications as well to know when we come on with the latest updates, forecast updates, but also those severe weather updates here as well. And of course, when we're not coming on, when things aren't really quite meeting that criteria to come on, we're posting the latest warnings. Facebook Casey Cloud WX, Facebook Cloud Weather, Twitter at Cloud Casey. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let me check our Facebook pages real quick, our various Facebook pages, to see if there's any questions or comments from any of the viewers there. So gonna just go over to those real quick here, and we'll go ahead and kind of go through those just to see if there's anything. Of course, you also have Twitter there You have Twitch, and you have the website, has all the different links available, including interactive radar on that radar tab. So we're giving you all the resources here at your disposal from the Weather Center here in North Central Florida. So that's going to do it for now. Have a great weekend, but we're going to be back, I'm sure, at points. We're probably going to have to be back with more updates as inclement weather and severe weather potential strikes here across our 62 counties.